So this conversation is going to be about Nigerians in diaspora, what it means to support Nigerians, what resources are available for Nigerians at this time, and then going forward later. Hello, Auntie Abike. Okay, we are going to stop calling everybody Auntie because it would be unprofessional. But it's so good to see you.
And I would say Sisi Funmi.
Yes.
Nice to see you.
Very nice to see you. I can imagine that for you, particularly with the Diaspora Commission, there's a lot of work to do. There's been, I mean, the way it happens with the pandemic is that you could just be in any country and then this breaks out. So there's been people stranded, Nigerians stranded all over the world. So I'll start with those who are stranded, who want to come home. And what the options, because there's been a lot of stories. There's been stories about, they're charging them exorbitant amounts of money to get on the flight back to Nigeria. Are there no flights anyway? And when they get to Nigeria, they need to be quarantined, and then they have to pay for the quarantine themselves, and so on and so forth. What is the real situation?
Okay, thank you. One is, let's get it clear. These are not Nigerians who are living abroad. They're not the Nigerians in the diaspora category as such. They're Nigerians who traveled and got stranded. Some went for medical, some went for vacation, some went for courses, programs, and all that. And then the pandemic happened and they were stopped there. So let's separate them from Nigerians who actually live abroad. But Nigerians living abroad, actually, doing their jobs in the various host countries. So what we were told to do as a Diaspora Commission was to now compile these names and find out who is where and what they want to do. So working with the missions, we were able to put names together, and we got well over 4,000 names. They went up there after about 4,000 names from about 75 countries that I traveled from one reason or the other and wanted to come back. The highest figures were coming from the UK, US, Dubai, India, China. And I think this also shows you where the Nigerians travel to the most. And that's what it means, These are places you travel to for business, for courses, for all that. And so far, but however, all the logistics is handled by the Minister of Foreign Affairs, working with the Presidential Task Force. So that's where the decisions are taken as to who comes when, where they go, the logistics, where they stay. It goes beyond us. It's actually the Minister of Foreign Affairs that takes that decision. However, we are there to give support services. But as I speak with you, we've had over 660. Let me look through the figures. From Dubai, the first flight came from Dubai, 254, and they were put up in Lagos. I think by now they should have done their 14 days. Of course, you know that from part of those who came from Dubai, 3, 1 died, but that one that died actually came with an underlying medical condition. And I can say that, he came with an underlying medical condition, and they finally passed on. And they were rushed to hospital. 2 of them were rushed to hospital the next day. So we have 254 from Dubai. We had from the UK, I think UK was about 253. US was about 160. We had some from Saudi Arabia just yesterday. Was it yesterday or 2 days ago? 2 days ago. Those ones, well, there's still more coming in from Saudi. And in fact, there are calls from all over the world.
I can imagine it's big logistics. So for people coming back, who pays? How much do they pay? When they do they stay in a hostel? And who pays for this? Bear in mind that we are aware that this is not just a Nigerian issue.
Like you said, it's not just Nigeria. So there's a presidential task force. Now, these are not Nigerians living abroad. They're Nigerians who are stranded. So what the commission will do is carry out the functions as decided by the task force and the Minister of Foreign Affairs. So which is what we did, compile the names, put it together, and we did that. However, the logistics, is handled at a higher level. But I'll tell you what obtains as decided by the minister. One is there's a 14-day quarantine. There's a protocol. There's an exodus protocol. When you come in, you must stay for 14 days. But the question is, must you pay for it? The answer is, well, initially they said yes, but I'm glad that has been resolved that, no, it's not fair to actually tell people to pay for a compulsory quarantine. I'm glad that has been resolved. So all those who have come have paid nothing for their 14-day stay. Now, quarantine is not luxury. It's not a 5-star hotel where you get everything you want. It's not luxury, I tell you. So, no, you're not paying anything. And then the minister reached out to CBN, I think he said NMPC, to help out with helping. So, good enough, you will be paying for your quarantine when you do come into the country. And to a large extent, we've been doing that. So it's not an easy thing to do, but there's so much more that we have to do. China, India, Dubai. Still a lot of people say they want to come, they want to come. But like I said, the logistics actually is being handled at a higher level.
Yeah.
While we just carried out instructions.
Do you suppose a lot more people who are actually legally resident or even citizens of dual citizenship in other countries are wanting to come back to Nigeria because relatively Nigeria seems to have a lower arc, with COVID than a lot of those countries? If you were to compare with the UK, for example, or even America, are people really just wanting to come back because at least relatively it seems to be better here regardless?
Well, honestly, I would not particularly say so. People wanted to come back because they want to be home. For instance, if you have a job that you're doing, you're not going to say because you're a dual citizen because of the low level you want to be. So it depends on what you're doing. Like there are some parents whose kids have been told to leave school. They are going to be home till September. So they are saying, my kids are schooling there, what will they be doing in September? Let them come home. So it varies from person to person and the reasons why. There are some who say, well, I'd rather just stay there. I have my home, I have everything. Let's wait till it goes. And there are the fears that now maybe it might be getting better in some countries and then but I think we've done, hopefully we continue this way. So really it varies from person to person. I cannot generalize.
But I wanted to start with China and Guangzhou in particular. The reported cases of abuse and difficulties that Nigerians had in China and racial slur and abuse and attack, or alleged racial slur, attack and abuse that Nigerians suffered in China after the outbreak. How was that resolved? Has it been?
I don't think it's been resolved. No, it hasn't been resolved. There's a bit of calm now, but the underlying problem is still there, except we want to deceive us. The underlying problem is still there. Now, this is what is happening in China. We have about 300 Nigerian businessmen who just went for business and want to come back. In fact, their names are long, they're getting restless, they want to return. So plans are on to get one of the airlines to get them in. We're waiting for Chinese embassy to give landing permits. So those ones are there. There are those who actually just do their businesses in China. They work there, they trade there. Now they live there. Now, if you want to get a permit, a residence permit, now when they go to those houses, they're told that they can't rent them houses. That is the fact of the matter. So you go, you want to rent a house and say, no, we can't rent your house. If you're not renting a house, then you can't have a residence permit. So it's a way of, I think, trying to say, well, illegal immigrants, we don't want you. And that is just the reality. So there are a lot of Nigerians there who can't get home. So they're squatting somewhere. They have to travel like maybe hours away from particularly Guangzhou and find a place to stay and squat somewhere. And that's squatting. So once they catch you, you're an illegal immigrant. And then in China, there's another thing. As an illegal immigrant, you can't just get on the plane and come. You have to pay almost $5,000 as fines. So two things can happen. If you don't want illegal migrants, waive the fine. Let's decide who's it. And then, because they're going to make life really tough for the illegal immigrants in China. And that is the facts of the matter. There are also some Nigerians who are living there legally, who are not complaining, but there are quite a lot who are saying, well, it's their own way of saying we don't want you here anymore. So the minister intervened, the parliament intervened. So there's calm now. There's a bit of calm now. But the problem isn't resolved yet. Now they are saying there are laws, obey our laws. We said, fine, obey the laws, but don't let your laws be discriminatory. And don't forget, as we say that, we tell Nigerians, obey the laws of other countries. Really, you have to, but China should not let their laws be discriminatory. Don't say, I should do this, the next person doesn't have to do. And then that is where we are now. So the problem is still there. It's a bit of calm, and diplomatic interventions are ongoing between both countries. And hopefully we can have a situation where you'll all live peacefully.
So let's go quickly. I mean, people are really going on about the passports.
Passports, yeah.
There's a lot of Sweden. There's a number of people complaining in particular about Sweden.
Sweden?
Yes, Sweden.
Well, what particularly about Sweden? If it's this period, there's a lockdown at this point in time. Nigerian Immigration Service has suspended issuance of passports during lockdown. So you don't expect that you will get your passport at this point in time. So if there's an emergency, they can get an emergency travel certificate. But at this point in time, there's a lockdown in most parts of the world for people. But here's the thing about passports, which I want everybody to note. One, now you have a 10-year valid passport. Two, there were challenges with immigration during the process of the transition from 5 years to 10 years. That was resolved. Three, there's visa on arrival now. So as a Nigerian, you can come in with your expired passport. You just come in, you get your visa on arrival. You're going to pay whatever it is the charges are, but you can't come in. You have a child. Once the child can prove that the parents are Nigerian, you can come with your expired passport. And I think that has solved 80% of the problem. And when you come in, you can decide to renew your passport here. So Nigeria should, get to know that you really can now come in with just your passport, expired or not. So, and I think that's a major step forward. However, Sweden, if I know specifically what the problem is with Sweden and where you can send us, either also, immigration is also very good on Twitter. They answer you. You can add them on Twitter, they will answer your question. But you can also send to nidcom.gov.ng. Let's see whether it's something we can work on. So, or you can send an email if you're listening to admin@nidcom.gov.ng. So we will see specifically what you're asking for. We have an immigration officer attached to the commission. So issues of passport, we work directly with immigration. You see, a lot of times about information sharing. Perhaps those Sweden people just need information.
So millions and millions of Nigerian young men and women want to get out of the country. There are many ways to do. Those who have more means, they can get. There's a whole conversation about Canada. Everybody's going off to Canada, But these are people who are too poor maybe to then take that particular option. The question is the country too despicable for people to live in, or are you saying that people are not conversant of the opportunities that are on ground? Why do you think so many young people want to leave Nigeria?
Well, this is something I've done a lot of work. It goes both ways. But I tell you something, there are many Nigerians who are looking for hope in hopelessness. And we have to admit that. It feels bad, maybe, but they're looking for hope in hopelessness. You see, if you survived, like that lady who said she was just unlucky, Professor Jibuno was one Nigerian who took an expedition around the desert. And when he tells a story, you'll cry. When he got on the boat, you find bodies being littered. He got on the boat, saw about 100 of them. He said, you know what? Maybe one of you will survive. They all started singing praise the Lord. Because that one person they believe will be me. So as long as one person will survive, like that lady said, that one person will be me. So that's why I said I look for hope in hopelessness. However, this is the message now. If you survived a few years ago, not anymore. The Europe you're going to, the Libya you're going to, you're likely to die. You're likely to die. Now, when you talk about Canada, those are different kind of migration. You know what I'm saying? But the migration of going through the desert and all that. But I think the good news is coming down, really. But, they're still being trafficked to some other place. Now they're looking at particularly Oman. So what we're going to do, working with NAPTIP, is now to look at these areas. And the way we're able to stop Saudi and Dubai and all that, I mean, it's still there, but it has reduced. So, yeah, government must do its bit. I think NAPTIP, National Repatriation Agency, will be working in that regard, and we will do what we can.
I'll come back.
We want to encourage legal migration.
I'll come back on the issue of awareness, because I'll come back on the issue of awareness. I want to ask particularly what trends you have noticed regarding COVID for Nigerians in diaspora. I mean, I asked a question earlier of my first guest, Ms. Odeli, if she thought, because it appears that disproportionately Nigerians or Black people, but we can only speak for Nigerians and Nigerians, seem to catch the disease and to some extent die. There was a very sad video of a Nigerian nurse who died and who was being taken out of her home. There's the Nigerian frontline workers, because a lot of doctors and nurses and healthcare workers around the world are actually Nigerians. So what are the trends? Is there anything we can do to support our own people wherever they are?
There are a lot of Nigerians on the front line. We're keeping records. As of today, I know I can count 36 that have died, particularly in the UK, US, and some parts of Europe. We haven't heard much in other parts. We had one in Brazil who died not too long ago. So as of today, I know we've counted 36. Some were the front line Some were just Nigerians who fell prey to COVID-19, and then we're creating the COVID-19 heroes book, compiling them. And as I speak with you today, there are still 3 today that, not that they died, I mean, on the front line doing, perfect work. And I think without Nigerians in this business, the role of Nigerians is simply too much. So yes, it's hard as if I don't know whether there's anything to do with being black or something. I can't tell, but the thing is that we're compiling data, we're monitoring the situation. We had a tribute once, but we realized that, we're getting back, we're just hoping that we don't want to hear any more data about that.
That's
and another thing again, another thing that I'm very happy about, Nigerians in the diaspora are coming together to raise funds to help Nigerians here. They'll be focusing on those on the front line, getting them PPEs in particular for healthcare practitioners here. So I'm sure in a couple of weeks, they will be making their presentation to the federal government. I mean, donating $50, $100, putting it together, despite the fact that where you are, you're not even working. I think that is very commendable, and very soon we'll be giving that donation to the federal government of Nigeria. And I'm really very happy and proud of Nigerians everywhere in the world.
Okay, I can take a couple of questions and I'll let you go because the night is fast falling upon us. And my next question,
we're Ramadan.
And it's Ramadan. I know. Thank you for joining me. So what I wanted to ask is, in what ways do you think COVID will change Nigeria or the way things are done in Nigeria for the citizens and for governments? Do you think any changes will occur?
Definitely. The world will never be the same again, and Nigeria too will never be the same again. But I hope that we see the positivity in all this, and that is the fact that number one, data. For me, data is very important. It has shown our lack of data. Mr. President has given an instruction that within 5 years, all Nigerians must have their identification card. So I hope that we work towards that. Data is key. Secondly, is our healthcare system we have to pay more attention to our healthcare system. And we are working with a group of doctors in the diaspora. We have a program called the Diaspora Professional Healthcare Initiative. We'll soon introduce it to the public, where our medical practitioners all over the world will be working with their counterparts. It's going to be huge. We're working with the Ministry of Health in that regard. A lot of attention to our healthcare, and then a lot of attention to governance, to the economy, to the country, to the way we also spend our money. And, people should ask more questions. I think it's the right of people to know how they're being governed and the resources being spent. And then we need to support Mr. President's fight against corruption. Because, things are just never been the same again. And of course, technology. The world will never be the same again. But the younger ones, they should see the opportunities in this current situation where there are a lot of things can be done. So, yes, the world will never be the same again. I hope that for Africa, it will become better. I hope that for Africa and for Nigeria in particular, we can believe more in ourselves. We can look at inwards, look at what we can do. We're still buying sanitizers from abroad. Now we're beginning to make them. So we should be able to look inwards, focus on a lot of things like agriculture. If President Buhari had not focused on things like produce and rice, do you know where we'll be today? So we should be proud of ourselves. We should look inwards. And I'll tell you a story before we leave. I was in Ethiopia for the last AU summit. And there I was trying to take a picture. And these guys come and say, oh, Nigeria. And they were virtually worshiping me as a Nigerian. And they were telling me that Nigeria is the America of Africa, Nigeria. And I'm like, let's celebrate ourselves, believe in ourselves, have faith in ourselves, and together we can conquer the world. Government has its role, the people have their own role. And I believe that if we pull all resources together, and the message we are preaching is Nigerians at home, Nigerians in the diaspora, let's work together to build a Nigeria of our dreams.
All right. Well, thank you very much. That's a good note to end this. And was Ramadan Kareem. Thank you for joining.
Unfortunately, we'll be distancing. And I just want to say before I go that I'm glad that we have people like you back on television, although it's thanks to COVID-19. I think we need more of communication like this and more of professionals in the industry that will, get people out there to talk, explain, and be a bridge between the government in a very professional manner. Thank you for doing this.
You're welcome.
And I wish you all the very best.
Thank you too.